Oh man, so Amanda Seales was recently on live stream going in on Charlamagne Tha God, alright? She was going in on that boy, calling him a snake. Now this is crazy to me because out of so many different fallouts that she's had in Hollywood, just in the entertainment industry, the one person that I've seen that's been there for her or given her platforms to her side has always been Charlamagne Tha God. So this is interesting, but hear what she got to say.
Why would I do a podcast with Charlamagne? Why would I do a podcast with Charlamagne? We had great chemistry until I realized that he was a ridiculous person and he was a snake. So then we don't have great chemistry anymore. He's also not an intellectual. Like, he's read books. He's not a dummy, but he's not an intellectual, and he don't got no backbone. He sits here and he regurgitates the same crap, and the people that he does challenge, like, remember when he challenged Kamala Harris? Remember when she was on his show and he was like, so who's actually in charge of the Democrats? You know, Joe Biden or Joe Manchin? And she black womaned him and started saying like, no, absolutely not. He didn't even come back because he didn't have no way to come back at her because he didn't know anything further than what he said. And then they have people on the show and they allow them to just talk their shit. And they don't have the actual knowledge and the actual intellectualism and or the actual backbone to be able to check them and reveal the nonsense that they're spewing. And whether that's Larry Elder or that other broad or the guy from the ADL, etc. Like, stick to rappers. Yes, Andrew Schultz can say whatever. And then he depends him. So, you know, go for it, Playboy. But that's not my people's no more. What is that? What's your point? Back in the day is not today. And it's funny how people show you love when you're beneath them. And then once you start finding your footing, it's funny how they don't. And people know who they can control. You know what I'm saying? Like, people know who they can control. People know who they can't control a lot of times. And so I think there's just been many times where I was confused as to why people weren't looking out for me, only to realize like, oh, it's because they can't control me. And they know that because they want to work with people who they will always have a thumb on. Like, I had a show called The Big Seals, which was basically like a mockumentary show. The name also, it developed into Amanda Seales is Difficult. And it was going to be like a mockumentary of me working in Hollywood. And Charlamagne was going to executive produce it. And so we were pitching it to VH1, and then his manager and his business manager claimed that he created it and that it was his idea. And my agent was like, nope, that's not how, no. And they were standing on that. Like, well, we're not going to move forward unless he gets creator credit because he created it. He did not create it. And then I had to call him and be like, I need you to call your people and get them in line. And I don't care. But why would they even feel like they could do that? Why would they even have that idea in their mind? Why had that not been clarified from jump?
I don't know their business. I don't know their business as far as what they got going on and what could have happened behind the scenes. But I'm gonna tell you right now, just knowing her track record, it's like she falls out with everybody. So the only people that's gonna really believe you or be on your side in this is folks who just don't like Charlamagne. You know how this shit go with the internet. When you don't like someone and something comes across your news feed about them, if it's negative, then you're more inclined to believe that it was the truth. Seeing her interactions and how she processes things, I'm more inclined to believe that something was misinterpreted and taken out of context, and she ran with her narrative, and that's the only narrative that matters. And I may be 100% wrong, and I have no problem with being wrong. But based on her digital footprint, everybody just got problems with her. Why you? Out of everyone, why you? Now this comment section is an example of what I'm referring to in regards to her digital footprint. It says, I just think she showed Charlamagne what everybody else saw. At first he was super protective of her and cool with her. This person says, who would want to do work with this woman ever? She's always complaining about something. Someone is always the problem. It's never her. It's always everybody else except her. It was her customers last week. Charlotte this week. Just stop posting her. She is the problem. It screams bitterness, no accountability. Wait, she just realized that Charlamagne is a snake. Well, they said Charlamagne gay. This lady's the most bitter person around. She lives in this victim mentality, and it is unfortunate. Zero accountability. Everything is other people harming her. You can tell she thinks she's the smartest person in every room she walks in, and more people saying shit. It's also this one person is on her side saying he also gets his talking points from Angela Rye with her elite problematic behind. Now, a couple weeks ago, she had this to say about Charlamagne and Angela Rye.
Democrats and Republicans are on one team. Anybody who doesn't think that, anybody who tells you otherwise, you should not be listening to. That goes for Joy Reid, Angela Rye, Charlamagne, all of them. Anybody who is talking about Democrats as if they are as if they are redeemable. As if they are redeemable. I want to keep everybody who listens to me just alert and oriented that, you know, this is not a Republican-Democrat thing. This is not a Republicans versus the Democrat thing. You know, people interview a politician and then swear that the politician told them the truth. It's actually a very bizarre concept to me. Because people, I interviewed one politician on Views for Amandaland, and collectively the audience said, let's just not do that anymore.
In the past, we've seen she had issues with everyone on the set of Insecure. She even had issues with Issa Rae, you feel me? And Issa Rae, when asked about who she wouldn't work with again in the future.
One person that I would never work with again. I mean, anybody who's on the podcast to talk shit about me, honestly.
Waiting to shoot. And we were chit-chatting. Everybody together as a group was all chit-chatting. And we started talking about this new show. A new show had come out. Okay? And as we started talking about the new show that come out, Issa started reading a review of the show out loud to the group. Okay? She's reading the show out loud to the group. So we're all sitting there listening and we're all commenting and involved in the commentary and in the conversation. Everybody as a group is talking. And when I say everybody, I mean the cast members. We're all chit-chatting about it, okay? Together, all of us together. And she fell off from the conversation because she was reading the rest of the article to herself. So then I guess when she was done reading, she said, oh, yeah, it ends with da-da-da-da-da. And I asked, oh, well, did they mention da-da-da-da-da? And she said, why don't you just read it yourself? And that was the last day. Because I had taken so much stankness and weirdness for the past 5 seasons. And it was the last season. And I just said, you know what? I don't got to take this no more. I don't know who the fuck you talking to. I don't know why you're even addressing me this way. We're in a whole group of people together. We're all discussing this. I'm actually showing interest. And so that was the last day. And I have never spoken to her again. Because I'm always going to show you respect unless you play me, which I have one time got out of my face because I felt played. And then she then tried to act like she was going to fight me when we was on stage doing a read about a movie. And I was like, stop, because we're not about to fight. And then we were able to have a civil conversation after that. I listen, she got in her feelings. Fine. But sunning me in front of everybody is unacceptable for a number of reasons. One, I am your employee. I'm your employee. That's number one. You're sunning me for what? Like, it's not that I did anything wrong. It's not like you're correcting me in the work. 2, I am your peer, colleague, and 3, I'm your elder. Boom, boom, boom. So that was the last day. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to keep putting up with this behavior. I'm not going to keep interacting with this. I'm not going to keep kowtowing. I'm not going to keep being the bigger person who comes and tries to soothe and smooth because you're the boss. I'm not going to do it. So that was the last day. So for anyone who's ever wanted to know, you just got a random tea. That was the last day. There we go. Okay, let's get back to Tenebras. Yes, Tenebras. Yeah, I was not tenebrous about my feelings moving forward after that. Very clear. Very clear.
Then y'all know we covered that situation a while ago when she was on Club Shay Shay. Club Shay Shay, she was given a platform to come and express herself, in which she spoke on Issa Rae in that damn interview. But after finding some middle ground with Shannon, she then went home and bashed that boy like crazy. Her and her fans just kicking this man back in. Matter of fact, let's take a quick walk down memory lane so I can remind y'all of that just a little bit.
I felt like Shannon was playing in my face, and he eventually turned the corner, but then at the end of the interview, like, he just, like, I don't know, just kind of like chilling. Me and Shannon were flirting. Ma'am, if you don't get all the way out of here with that bullshit, please don't insult me. And that was offensive. That was highly offensive. And it makes me wonder if you know when people are flirting with you. So when I left the interview, I just was very, like, kind of not sure how it was going to play out. And I knew that he had played himself in the interview in a number of ways. And so I knew that he would, they would probably edit some of it out. So that's how I felt. Have you seen his prior interviews? He's very welcoming and bubbly. The door is open. Folks talk uninterrupted. He allows them to be a safe space. The producer told me I would be in a safe space and told me, I would be supported. So that's what I expected. He didn't behave with me like he has not behaved with anybody else like he did with me. So that's why I did the interview.
Anyone she comes in contact with, it's not a matter of if, it's when she will fall out with them, when this person's gonna rub her the wrong way, and her response is gonna be very, very flagrant, and she's entitled to whatever she has to do to maintain her distance, keep herself safe and all that stuff. As far as what she got going on mentally, she's entitled to that. But damn, every single person, I hope everything works out for her though, but I just can't but help to notice this pattern. But hey though, y'all gotta let me know what you gotta say in the comment section below. I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here though. This is another update with Stace. Yo,